In our last episode, we got to see Team 10 come to the rescue of Sakura, Naruto episode 33. This episode starts off in an illusion slash dream of Sasuke. He sees his younger self right in front of him, and he is crying. Simultaneously, imagery of his dead family is shown. Apparently, he was powerless and wasn't able to do anything. Now we're back to where we left off. Sakura's laying there, and she says, "Inu, why?" Ina responds with, "I can't let you upstage me in front of Sasuke." Bandages really scares Choji. He doesn't even want to be here in the first place, but Shikamaru reiterates, "We gotta be men out here. We gotta stay here with Inu." Choji's like really big on chickening out, and as he's trying to scurry away and being held down by Shikamaru, we hear Zaku say something. "It's okay for you to drop out, Fatso." As soon as Choji hears this, he just stands still. Then he's talking to himself. What did that guy just say? He continues on talking to himself. I didn't quite catch it. Zaku's like, huh? Then all at once we see Shikamaru's face and he's just tweaked out. That word is taboo to Choji. Choji's back in the frame, his back turned. There he says, try saying it again. Of course Zaku double downs on it. I said if you have a problem, pull out Fatso. The word Fatso now rings in the mind of Choji. All at once it starts zooming into the back of his head and he just turns around and he goes Eric Cartman on him. I'm not fat, I'm just big bone blasted. What would you say if all it took for someone to call him Fatso to join his own team? As Team 10 was able to come together, we get to see Zaku remind himself, I was told to get Sasuke by the end of the test. After Zaku's reminder, we get to see Sakura looking over at Sasuke. Suddenly Inu interrupts her and says, Sakura, and she looks over to pay attention to her, and the next words that leave her mouth, the two behind take care of them. And so the three of them get into formation. The first move made was very unexpected. We hear Inu call out to Choji, I'm counting on you, and he does this expansion jutsu, which turns him into a giant bouncy ball. But wait, there's more to this move. So, he uses leaf style taijutsu, and he goes into a ball like form, literally tucking in his arms and his legs. And as he's rolling like a Sonic character, he does this thing called the human boulder. And of course, Choji ends up rolling directly into Zaku. Zaku sees this and he makes another one of his clever fat jokes. And then he goes into the slicing sound wave and he's fighting back this ball. As Zaku fights on, there is no end to it. He's just building up a bunch of speed on this boulder. All of a sudden, while Zaku is still trying to fight back Choji, he jumps up in human boulder form. As Choji in boulder form is coming at Zaku, he has the realization that no matter what he does, if this thing touches him, he's gonna be in some pretty bad pain. All at once, Bandages just jumps into action and starts running. He's trying to make it over to Zaku. Of course, Team 10 isn't gonna let that happen. Shikamaru comes and calls him out. Suddenly, he does his very own jutsu called the Shadow Possession, and this is where he uses his own shadow to connect to Bandage's shadow, thus making him stop in place. Even though Choji was freely able to impact down, Zaku dodges. As Shikamaru messes around with this pose, we get to see Bandages mimic the same exact thing, so it's something new that we learn about the Shadow Possession Jutsu. Ken from the Hidden Sound is just like, what the heck is going on? Suddenly, Shikamaru says, ladies next, and of course, it's time for Ino to make her move. She uses the Mind Transfer Jutsu on Ken. As Choji continues to roll around Zaku, all of a sudden he calls for Ken to help. The other Hidden Sound members are so confused. Inu, with her control over Ken's body, takes a kunai knife to her neck and says this is the end of it. Inu continues on to say, you guys, if you make one move, this girl named Ken is dead meat. Leave your scroll and walk away. Once you've gone far enough that I can't feel your chakras, I'll release this girl. As Inu is saying that, both of them start to giggle and smile, and Ino's very confused. All at once, Ino becomes urgent. She calls out Choji, and then we get to see Zaku put his hand to the side, getting ready to shoot his air pressure. This guy is such a madman. He's willing to sacrifice his own teammate as his air pressure is coming at Ken's body. Suddenly, Choji, in boulder form, is able to come right beside of it and make impact with it. Choji goes flying, and so does Ken's body, hitting a tree. We then get to learn something new. Shikamaru is holding Inu's body, and whatever damage she took in Ken's body actually replicates off of her own. As Inu and Ken's body lays on the ground, she asks what type of person would do this to their own comrade. Bandages replies, our goal is not the scrolls or to pass this test planned by the rules. And so they find the true goal. It's Sasuke. The Shadow Possession Jutsu that Shikamaru has put on bandages starts to weaken and release. And this is because of a 5-minute use limit. After being released, bandages starts to take mental notes. Basically thinking if he kills Ken, then he'll also kill Inu. The Sound Ninjas have a huge checkmate here. Zaku puts his hand out, prepared to blast his own teammate. Taunting them, Zaku says, "That's too bad, you're just a step away." All at once we hear someone from the forest call out, "Humph, I don't like this at all." My goodness, as they turn, we hear "You minor Sound Ninjas" to see it is Naiji and Tenten. And Naiji is just cold. He lets them know, hey, the guy with the bob cut, that's our teammate. He gets really angry and says, "But you messed with him, didn't you?" Bandages sees this and he's like, whoa. His eyes, it's like they can see through everything. Naiji and Tenten are prepared to fight. Suddenly we get to see Naiji just come to a stop and he senses something. This chakra. And Bandages calls out Naiji. He's like, if you don't like me, don't play cool. Come down here. The next thing that Naiji says, we're like, wait, what? No, evidently there's no need for that. Focus gets put back on Bandages. All at once he comes to his realization. Focus is then brought to Sasuke's body. He's showing movements but hasn't awakened yet. Slowly, we get transported back into Sasuke's illusion where he's staring at his younger self. His younger self continues to cry as imagery of his dead family shows up, and he keeps talking about how he's powerless. All at once, Sasuke gets frightened. His younger self looks up directly at him. "No, you let them be killed." His younger self grips his eye. "You only watched." Sasuke gets more frightened. Zoomed in to Sasuke's frightened eyeball, we hear again in kid Sasuke's voice, "If only I had power." Then we look over at younger Sasuke, and he removes the skin underneath his eye. "If only I had power," and it's Orochimaru's voice. And just like that, Sasuke comes to. He's standing up, this dark chakra surrounding him. He's looking down. Sakura sees this. All at once she says, "Sasuke, you're awake?" Then suddenly your face changes. Huh? Something we get to notice as Sasuke's coming to, not only does he have this dark chakra, but it's also this like weird glowing on his skin. Sakura sits there and she's frightened. Finally, Sasuke makes his first step. And the first words that come out of his mouth, "Sakura." And it's just straight aura. He continues on, "Who did this to you?" Sakura sits there staring. Then Sasuke asks again, demanding, "Who is it?" As Bandages is watching this, we get to hear his thoughts. The curse marks run around his entire body? Okay, listen up because things are getting really interesting here. So, Sasuke goes on to tell Sakura not to worry, and he goes on the contrary, strength is rapidly flowing in. Right now I feel good. That guy gave this to me. Sakura says, huh? Sasuke goes on, "At last I understand. I'm an avenger. On my road, I must put power into my hands, even if it means abandoning myself to the devil." The Sound Ninjas hear this and they're like, whoa. Suddenly we hear Bandages thinking again, so is this the curse mark that the girl Sakura speaks of? With this frightened look, he says, "But I didn't think you could stand up." Sasuke again in a demanding tone, "Sakura, tell me, who harmed you?" Zaku yells out, "Me," and Sasuke glares over at him, making him turn and change focus on him. This catches Inu and Ken's body off guard. Shikamaru yells out from the bush to Inu, "If you stay like that, you're gonna get involved." Shikamaru also yells out to Choji, "You too, come over here and hide." Choji runs over there and we get to see Inu and Ken's body release herself back. We shift our focus back to Sasuke standing off against the Sound Ninjas. He stands there with an angry face, and his curse mark begins to grow. Bandages is staring, and he's there frightened. His chakras are too big. Zaku takes over to ensure Bandages. "This half-dead bastard is nothing to be scared of." Bandages quickly turns to Zaku. "Stop, Zaku! Don't you understand?" Zaku continues on, "I'll take care of him in one fell swoop," and he prepares to air blast them. All at once, we see a giant wave of wind come in. Supersonic slicing wave. And man, is it strong. All at once, the screen cuts to white. As we come back, we see Zaku trying to recover after a huge move, and we get to see the pathway of destruction in front of him. Very cocky, Zaku says, "Heh, he must have been blown to pieces." Out of nowhere, though, he gets a reply. "Who did?" He responds with, "Huh?" Somehow Sasuke was beside him. This is where Sasuke punches him and Zaku goes flying. Zaku tumbles all the way to the front of Bandages. We hear Bandages' thoughts. He's fast. Moreover, he took in those two in the blink of an eye. In a sudden second, Sasuke quickly looks back over at the Sound Ninjas. This is where he quickly starts weaving signs. "Fire Style, Phoenix Flower Jutsu." Zaku says, "Don't push your luck." Then he shoots airwaves to fight the flames. As the flames start to extinguish, Underneath that was hidden shurikens. The shurikens hit Zaku in a fury. While Zaku's getting rained on, we hear bandages say, "Zaku, below you!" Quickly out of thin air, Sasuke appears in front of Zaku. And in just a flash, Sasuke's behind him, holding both of his arms back with his foot on top of him. Sasuke says to Zaku, "It seems like you're proud of your arms." Zaku tries to yell stop, but Sasuke slowly but surely breaks his arms. Sasuke throws Zaku in front of him. Then he turns around to bandages and says, "You're the only one left." As Sasuke turns around to fully face him, he says, "You make it a little more fun for me." Sasuke goes to walk over to him. This entire time, Sakura is sitting there watching in fear, and she's like, "Sasuke, this isn't you." Suddenly, something tells her just to yell out, "Stop," and run towards him. Sakura makes her way all the way behind Sasuke, hugs him, and says, "Stop it." Sasuke stands there, staring her right in the eye. Slowly again, Sakura tells him, "Please, stop." After a while of staring at each other's eyes, slowly Sasuke's curse mark starts to retract. We then hear Bandages thinking again. The curse mark is withdrawing. We're saved, for now. Sakura is still holding Sasuke, he falls to the ground. As Sasuke lays there panting, we hear Bandages say, "You are strong. Sasuke, we can't defeat you the way you are now." He lays their team scroll on the ground and says, "This is our fee for settling this. Please let us withdraw from here." Bandages goes over to pick up Zaku and continues on. "It seems selfish, but we have something we need to confirm too." He then picks up Ken and says, "That being said, let's make a promise. If there's another opportunity to battle with you in this test, we won't run or hide." He then turns around and starts to make his way to leave. Suddenly, Sakura yells out, "Wait!" and he stops in place. He turns back confused. Sakura then asks him, "Who in the world is Orochimaru?" She continues with another question. "What did he do to Sasuke?" Bandages answers, "We were just given orders to make the hit on Sasuke." Bandages turns, facing away, continuing on. "Though you ordered us to assassinate Sasuke, you got to him first," referring to Orochimaru. "Moreover, you didn't kill him and left that curse mark instead. I don't know what you're thinking." And off he goes, walking slowly. From above we hear Naiji. "That chakra, it's abnormal." The Uchiha clan. "This good, huh?" Team 10 has stormed back on the field to try and help the injured. This is where we get to see that Naruto is doing a lot better. He's even talking to himself about saving Sakura. This is where we end off our episode. Sasuke sits there staring at his hand where he says, "What am I?" continuously staring. Sakura's behind him, looking at him worried. So, a lot happens in this episode, so I'm going to quickly try to highlight as much as I can. First things first, we get to see Sasuke's trauma. Not once, but twice. It was a real big tragedy. And that doesn't even cover it enough. He felt powerless, and then all at once, Orochimaru shows up, but as himself, and simultaneously, this is where he awakens this curse mark, and he uses it and goes on this rampage. And as he was about to do something that was like really terrible, he was going to kill that guy. Like, Bandages was about to get murked. That's when Sakura comes in, gives him the hug, and tells him to stop. Not once, twice, but the second time was really slow. Sasuke sits there, stares her in the eyes, and then he finally stops, which, man, that was just crazy. Overall, the curse mark, pretty crazy power. I wonder if he's going to use it again. There at the end, it kind of says, "Oh, wait, what am I?" He's kind of questioned himself. So, something we got to note coming forward. Another thing, we get to see some new powers in Team 10, and my favorite one's probably Choji and the Human Boulder. Just something about that is just so different and so unexpected. Well, I guess it does make sense since he expands into a big giant boulder, and the whole gag is, oh, it's a fat guy. And something else I liked about him is that he was called Fatso, and that's what it took for him to fight. But overall, this is a fantastic episode, and probably one of those better episodes in this first series. If I'm going to rate it, I'm going to say it's a nice 9.3. I want to know what your guys' thoughts are on Naruto episode 33. Hope you guys stay safe, and until next time, peace out, guys.